Well, now, permit me then on this video to take you through 7 things that you must quit right now. And guess what will happen if you do so? You're gonna save yourself crazy amounts of money. Oh, by the way, have you ever thought that most of the cash that you usually aspire to have, you'd rather have them? The only thing that you need to do is to check out on how you spend that what you have. That is exactly what I'm gonna talk on this video. The only thing I want you to do is to watch this to the end and get yourself a pen and paper, note them down, and try to critically think through and run them against what exactly you should do and how you budget your cash and how you use it at the end of the day. And remember one thing, even God himself stops growth where there is no management. So you're gonna do something. All right. So by the way, guess what? I do upload such kind of videos each and every day. So, and if you don't wanna miss any of my good videos, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up. And again, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And if in a position to, you can share it out. And by the way, leave that comment on the comment section. Let's go to point number one. Point number one, the very first thing that you need to quit right now, if you're doing it, it is gambling. Okay, there's something called gambling. Gambling is simply you using that what we call the shortcut to riches, or shortcut to wealth, or shortcut to making that huge chunk of cash. And by the way, I know when I say gambling, you might think I'm talking about the sports gambling and what have you. See, when you start something that you do not understand, just because you want to quit that thing that you do not love, you're simply gambling. Okay. Yes, I understand in life we need to gamble, but the point is this: gambling to a point whereby you don't even know what you're getting yourself into. Basically, that's like throwing the money into the pit. Again, engaging in these sport bettings and all those kind of things just because you want to create a crazy amount of money within the shortest period of time, that is not exactly how the things works. I always tell you sometimes back that success is usually an intersection between 2 points. It's an intersection between a hard work and a success, or rather what we call hard work and what we call the luck. And you cannot control how lucky you can be in life. So when you're betting, you're disregarding the fact that, hey, you know what, I am lucky because I know I'm a hard worker and what have you. Then I'm gonna go ahead and bet, and I do not think there is anyone who believes that they are not lucky. That is the kind of a mentality that people who engage in gambling and what have you tend to have. So avoid gambling at all the cost. If I tell you how much that got me into, especially when I was in campus, because I was betting a lot, I was gambling a lot, and obviously that comes with your mental instabilities, comes with what you call obviously losing your cash. And again, it's not really the tool that you use to make your money or the real cash out there. By the way, if gambling then would make you a lot of money, this is the thinking I used to have back then when I was gambling. I used to be like, okay, so if I had a certain amount of money, then I would definitely engage in this gambling because I will make a lot. But it's quite unfortunate or opposite from the people who have the money. I didn't even see them gambling. Up to date, I never saw them. I don't even see them gambling. They don't do exactly that. And if then it makes money, then this is the areas where these people would invest heavily. But they don't do exactly that. Then what that makes you believe that then it's the right place to invest. I always ask you, I always tell you, and this is what I'm going to challenge you with. Go check those people who are successful. Check what they do, and that's exactly what they do. That's what actually create wealth. Never forget this one, that wealth is never an event. It is a process, and it takes time. Respect that process. All right, we go to number two. If then you quit this thing, you're gonna save yourself a lot of money. Then guess what it is? There's something called impulse purchases. Impulse purchases. Okay, impulse purchases, these are the situations whereby you buy something that you didn't necessarily need it, you want it, or maybe a need, or rather a sort of quote unquote a need has arisen due to you seeing somebody doing that thing, or maybe you think that thing will actually transform your life and what have you. Always ask yourself, the whatever I'm buying, how will it transform my life? Will it transform my life positively, negatively? Do I need it? Do I want it? What's the necessity of it? How much am I gonna part with? How that gonna affect my savings, my goal that I'm having, and all those kind of things. So the moment, I always tell people, if you can go out there and use something like 1,000 Kenyan shillings, that's like $10, without even you planning. If you can just dish out that amount of money and you're still okay, you feel like, I'm telling you, you have a problem as far as the finances are concerned. Anything beyond 500, that's like $5. Always make a plan about it. You know, those small and microscopic things that people tend to disregard, that is exactly where the greatness as far as the cash and finances is concerned. Never forget this that I told you. Take care of coins and the notes, or the bills will take care of themselves. That is exactly how we do it. Those small things and minute things that you think like, you what, that 5 shillings, that 10 shillings, that 30, that 70, that whatever, if you were to consolidate them, monitor them in a period of 30 days, you'll be shocked how much you've actually misused out there. So avoid these impulse buying. And there is a reason why we have these things that are sold in terms of the impulse, because most of the people, they know and understand, those who are in business, there's something called the psychology of money. People tend to buy things that they appear good, they want to look normal, they want to fit in, and all those kind of things. So if you try as much as you can to avoid and shake them off, you're gonna do something as far as the investments, as far as your cash is concerned, and that is exactly how the greatness is created. Let's go to the point number 3. The point number 3 is none other than you having what we call quitting drinking. Okay. Well, when I say drinking, I don't mean like quitting drinking water and juices and what have you. No. Simply here, drinking is the term used to refer to you taking alcohol. And obviously, when I say alcohol, I mean taking alcohol in controllable manner. Okay. You see, there is a way you can do it in an elegant way, and there is a people, because for me, I'm not saying for me, and probably you from where you sit, you've probably seen alcohol destroying families, haven't you? If you haven't, then you really need to check in between the lines, because that is obviously true. I have seen families being destroyed because of the alcohol. And this is the alcohol, this is how it actually affects a lot of things. It stretches from the social life to economic life to even spiritual life and what have you. Let's talk about the financial life, because that is exactly what we do on this channel. This is exactly how it happens. So the moment you engage yourself in uncontrolled alcohol taking, you obviously have what we call the wrong judgment. And the moment you make wrong judgments, this is why you find people tend to say that people who take alcohol are very generous. Indeed, they are not generous. They are under influence of something. Most of them are looking for what we call, justification. Some of them are actually there to sort of, show proof to people that they're actually doing far much better in life and what have you. But the reality happens is, well, why are these people who take alcohol? By the way, have you ever tried to tell somebody who actually have invited you to take alcohol and tell them, you know what, probably I don't know how much you're going to plan to buy for me today as far as the drinks is concerned, but I would rather let you know, kindly lend me 2,000. I want to go pay my rent because my rent is due and what have you. They really do that. Forget about even about rent. If you tell them personally, I am hungry, I would love to eat and what have you, they tell you, go sort it yourself, I'm just going to buy you alcohol. That tells you it has a lot of some things that you cannot truly say that this is the genuinity in terms of generosity and what have you. So always being keen and careful in any decision that you take as far as the alcohol is concerned, because it can take you into lots of things. It takes money out of your pocket, gets the character out of control, affect your social life, and this can actually deter you from achieving your greatest heights. I've seen people's dreams. I've seen people being fired because of taking alcohol. I've seen people going down the drain as far as the finances are concerned just because of taking the alcohol. Be very careful with that wonderful wire, for that wonderful thing that we call alcohol out there. All right? Yeah, I know that's a thorny issue, and most of you guys will come to roast me on the comment section. But guess what? I'm going to try the best that I can to help you and tell you the truth. That is not my truth. It is the truth. All right? Let's go to the next point. I used to love gambling, by the way. By me quitting that thing, it used to be a very tough moment. But it was the truth. I fought with it and I managed to conquer it. So probably you feel like this area has been touched. You feel like, Joseph, you shouldn't have said that. But it is the truth. Okay, it is the truth. Okay, now the other thing that's the reason why they even tell you anybody who is below a certain age should not engage themselves, because it leads to some of the decisions that are not so upright. All right, let's go to the point number 4. The point number 4 is you having what you call the social debt. This one I won't stress a lot because I did made a video about it. You're gonna check it out there, my older videos, like a week or whatever. You can check it out there, but again, depends on when you're watching this video. Again, social debt simply means it's you using that amount of money to prove a point to people. If you can try conquer that issue, and I've always been telling you this from the book called Psychology of Money, by Morgan Housel, tell me that if you can be able to conquer the aspect or the influence of proving a point to people, like for example, say I have an X amount of money in a bank, I have to try the best that I can to show you that indeed I have it. Not really to literally show you the balance, but again to buy things that can tell you indeed I'm doing well financially. We aren't here to compete. Well, basically, you may say, yeah, we are, but the point is not to compete on what you have, what I have, then that makes me successful. How about we are competing on the levels of thousands? We aren't. There are people who are on millions. There are people who are on billions. There are people who are on trillions and what. It depends with the currency that you're using, all right? So the point is, at all the time, try as much as you can to shake off what we call the fit-in expenses, to show people. Let's say, for example, you live in a midst of teachers because you are one. Doesn't mean necessarily that you have to behave as one. Well, obviously, I don't mean like you be indisciplined disciplined individual. Simply, I mean that if you realize that what the rest of you guys are doing in terms of where they take their schools, or rather their kids to schools, what they eat, what they dress, and what have you, their social hangout places, you realize it's not actually all going well with your finances. It doesn't hurt if you can just live below your means and be able to achieve those things later once you put your finances in order. That is what we call the financial wisdom. By the way, if you didn't know that, there's something called the financial wisdom. It's you having the understanding and the intelligence to know this is not right, this is appropriate as of now, then I'm going to grab it later. That is exactly what we do it. So avoid the social debt and what have you. Let's go to the point number 5. The point number 5 is none other than having what we call unnecessary subscriptions. Okay, there's something called unnecessary subscription. All right, see, when I say unnecessary subscription, I'm not saying that all the subscription that you have are necessary. For example, in my house, I've subscribed to Wi-Fi. Why? Because I'm a heavy consumer. What does it mean? I upload videos. I need that internet, consistent supply of internet. I cannot achieve it by buying the data bundles each and every day. Okay, therefore, because that would be a bit expensive. So I can have that subscription because I need the internet. And for God's sake, nowadays in the life that we live in, is that we need to have internet. Is quite of an essential thing. You are watching me courtesy of internet. So the thing is, there's some of the subscriptions that are quite okay and good. Okay, now you may have some subscription that I actually had a client who was talking about having the gym subscriptions, having some other unnecessary subscriptions. Sometimes you have some you find somebody has the mobile banking system. You can be able to pay using your money, say in a bank, and what the guy has a banking mobile banking card, mobile banking services. The guy has a debit card, the guy has a credit card, the guy has like, you have a lot of things. I know for guys who are watching you from the US, the UK, and what have you, credit card might be of an essential thing to have, but the reality is you may have some things that are not so much necessary. Cable internet, cable subscription, and other many things, that Netflix subscription that you rarely even watch videos and movies and what have you. Check out on the subscription that you have whether they are necessary. Are they facilitating you? Are they growing you? Are they taking to levels of highness and all those kind of things? So it's good to make sure that you check out on what you're having a subscription. If you can check as much as you can that you find are not necessary, and leave those who are essential, that what are essential and good, that helps you to grow, then that will help you earn a lot of money. All right, let's go to the point number 6. The point number 6, or the second last, is the question of having what we call the poverty tax. Property tax, probably some of you may not know what exactly it is. Property tax is the money that you pay when you buy things in small quantities. For example, say a unit of a thing is being sold for 20 shilling. So, and one is sold at 20 shillings, but 3 are sold at 50 shillings. So if you buy the 3 of them, so assuming that you need 3, and you'll be like, I don't want to buy the 3 of now because I don't want to part ways with this 50. I'm going to buy the 21, then I'm going to buy another one when I need it, and then I'm going to buy another one when I need it. So you end up spending your 60 shillings in place of you could have bought 3 of them at 50 shillings because you've saved yourself a 10 shilling. That is exactly what. Now that 10 shillings difference between buying per unit compared to you been bought, if you didn't buy the 3 of them at a go, that 10 shillings is what we call the poverty tax. And most of the people get themselves into this thing. They don't understand. For example, let's say you don't have an internet in your home, but obviously you need internet to watch Good Joseph and what have you. So then what do? You buy the internet bundles from the phone each and every time that you need them. So if you were to do a cumulative out of that, how much you spend in a entire stretch of a month, you've spent a lot of money. But what if at the beginning of the month you decided, I'm gonna buy myself a package that gives me the free minutes, well, not really free, because again, you've bought, you could have not been given if you didn't spend. So let's just call them the free minutes. The free minutes gonna give you the what we call the free messages or the SMS. Then it's gonna give you the internet in a whole stretch of a month. Perhaps if you spend 1,000 shilling, gonna give you that whole package. That way gonna be a bit cheaper, sometimes way cheaper compared to you actually buying that thing when you need it. So I'm just giving you this tip. Say for example, you're employed, you get that money at the end of the month. You can decide to go ahead and use the cash to do your shoppings. You can buy your groceries, your whatever, all of those things. Therefore, you can be able to save a lot of things. Then now that's what we call the poverty tax. Allow me to go to the last point. The last point is none other than you having what we call, idolizing your money, having what we call idolizing your cash, idolizing your cash, or idolizing your money. This one I won't stress in any way. I've talked about it, having that money in a bank that is lying idle. You're not even using it. You just want to feel good because money in the bank. So avoid having that thing. I was okay, how can that even help you to make money in the first place? There's something called inflation. If the inflation is at 5%, you've lost 5% of that what you have. Say you have a couple of billions. If then the inflation was 5%, so you've literally lost that amount of money. That is exactly how you're gonna save that money. Again, when you make more, then it helps you not to spend that much you could have spent. Then it helps you, like literally has helped you to save your cash. Go check out those videos that I've made about not have kind of money and cash and what have you. You're gonna understand it better. For now, it's a goodbye. By the way, don't forget, go ahead and check that video of mine about those things that I've told you, and don't forget to as well grab that number of mine from the description of this specific video if you'd like to have a conversation with me. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next time.